Happy full moon in Capricorn. Yay. I hope everybody is doing well. I am wonderful. I've had some fun summer adventures lately, and today I went to have a fun day at a waterfall. So I've had some nice ritual mikvahs recently, and good times and good chances to get into natural moving water. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm kind of like a nerd about water, and water is a living organism and a living being, and it has a memory. And so I actually have a whole video series in, I think, my vlogs playlist where I did my own experiments based on the research of physicist Dr. Emoto's work with water, and its more interesting properties. So if you are curious also about the more interesting and far out properties of water, maybe go check out that playlist. Otherwise, yes, we are here for our Oracle and Tarot workshop. For the full moon in Capricorn. This is applying to everyone as a collective. You don't have to just be a Capricorn. But yeah, so we'll talk about some of the astrological aspects going on right now, and then we'll move on into the reading. So yes, you guys, this whole year has been sort of like this initiation into a whole grand new start in life. And our old stories are in the past, right? We've taken out the tape and we put in the second tape. The old series has come to completion, but it got rebooted immediately, but the old canon doesn't apply anymore, right? So it's like we get to rewrite a new story. And so the second half of this year has been sort of like we are this rebirthed, like infant, being thrust out into the world, much like the wild kingdom, right? And as humans, we have all this time in infancy and toddlerhood and childhood or whatever to prepare us for the world. But, you know, our soul, you know, when it's reborn, and our consciousness when it's reborn, we don't have the luxury of the, you know, the nursery, the kindergarten of, you know, our growth period of those developmental stages. It's just like we're thrust out into the wild, just like an animal almost. So, you know, we're learning to use those spiritual instincts. And right now we are sort of coming back to life. We're brand new at this, in this like sort of up-leveled version of self, going into this new you know, chapter of life, trying to observe and go slow and do things differently and with more intention and on purpose and not be reactive, right? So I have been getting these visions of like during the 2023 prediction series, which I have monthly through October complete, and you can kind of look at those to see like the overarching themes of each month. But what I did notice overall was a pattern of like every month we would be initiated and tested on these different levels. And so I see this happening now. It's like all of a sudden, it's like things are really starting to turn on, and you know, there's these scenarios, life presents itself. And so I don't know if you guys have been sort of like able to stand almost outside of yourself and observe yourself like in real time, also observing how you used to be, and then observing like how you are sort of reacting almost like, oh wow, like I see the difference, you know? And so we're trying to take our time and move with intention rather than being in that whole like animalistic mindset of you know, guttural reaction, you know, impulsive response, to just, you know, pacify or reach for instant gratification, or, you know, immediately alleviate a situation, you know, and not waiting for something that's the right solution, just picking anything, right? So we are slowing down. And I keep getting this imagery of a rocket on a launch pad. And at NASA, when they're going to launch a shuttle, it's like mission control is talking to the astronauts in the ship, And it's not like they just turn on a key and then turn on the gas, put it to drive and go. There's all kinds of systems that need to come on and boot up and warm up, right? Just the mechanics of the ship need to adjust and acclimate and warm up so that the washers and things don't break. So it's a slow process of turning each system on. All systems go. Like, is this, turn on engines engaged? Like, and so that's each month, it's like one more system is engaged. Bringing us up to now. So a couple of weeks ago, we had that new moon in Gemini, which was very exciting and fun. And it like got us all into that whole, I'm ready to get back out into life and test these new shoes, get these new shoes broken in, essentially. And so Gemini was giving us all of these like ideas and, fun thoughts and, things to talk about. And, our dreams were sort of like coming back, and there was this effervescence of that. And so, Gemini had us all up in our heads, up in our thoughts, up in our imagination. And we were like, feeling very adventurous and exploratory and wanting to like, try these things, and like, all these like fun ideas and plans are coming in and like flooding and inspiration. And so that's great because we needed that to get launched into our year. And now, just like Capricorn, Capricorn Full Moon comes in as like Daddy Capricorn and is like, calm down. Like, what's realistic? What do you really want versus what's shiny, or what's really required to make what you want to happen. The weekly energy oracle forecast, I went into this conversation, which was a good thing to go watch. But we were talking about how, like, shit, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, it'll come back to me. So Capricorn full moon. Capricorn is a feminine element, earth element, and cardinal sign. Cardinal signs are really great for being inspired and like starting something, right? Launching the shuttle. Aries is a cardinal sign. Libra is a cardinal sign. Cancer is a cardinal sign. And Capricorn is a cardinal sign. So these energies are very much like, they're great at like getting really excited and inspired and like getting something started and going. So we've got the sun in Cancer right now, which is our outer demonstration of Cancer aspects, which is also, we're being outwardly inspired to get things going right now. And then, Capricorn is in the moon. And so the moon is in Capricorn right now. The moon is like our internal world. The moon is our subconscious, what's driving us. It's our fears. It's what's not fully seen. It's not what's fully in the light. It's sort of what we have going on inside. So right now, like the full moon in Capricorn is really having this like influence over us where that's what I was going to say, the core desired feelings. So getting clear on the practicality of the dreaminess of, the things that were coming up that were exciting in Gemini versus like the core desired feelings. Like, does this match like what lights you up? Is it in alignment with that? Like Danielle Laporte had this workshop called Firestarter Series. And one of the things that it helped you do is narrow down like your career focus, or if you wanted to start something but you had a bunch of different ideas, it's like, which one do you pick? And she helped you kind of workshop through and brainstorm the practicality of what something was actually going to be like versus what you fantasize it will be like, right? And like day in and day out, what is it really going to be like to be at certain jobs, right? Versus other jobs. And I had this whole thing with film, it was like for a while it suited me very well, but in the end, like it wasn't sustainable in the long run because it wasn't really like meshing with the other things that I wanted. And it was like an illusion of freedom, but really because of the freelance quality, it was so spontaneous that there was no ability to have the freedom to really plan too far in advance. And so it was like you couldn't do a lot of the things that you would want to do that require like planning and all of that, and like, you know, set plans. So yeah, getting clear about the core and the essence of what it is that you want to create for yourself, right? Like, if you have a dream, then reverse engineer it. And does that, like, playing out that dream, does it fit into like the way that you want to feel within your life? Does it match like those Cancer themes of like what makes you feel at home within yourself or within the world or within life? Do you have that sense of like, does it give you a sense of security or, you know, feeling of, you know, intimacy, right? That's kind of falls under Cancer. It's like that, those close-knit circles, the close-knit groups, your home life, the closest things around you, your intimate surroundings. Cancer is also super empathic and very psychic. It's ruled by the moon, so it's very emotional, very sensitive. So Capricorn is opposite Cancer. Capricorn is the father of the zodiac, whereas Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. So mother-father healing could be coming up right now. But yes, so the dreaminess of the new moon, that where we're planting seeds and having ideas come up. Now, Capricorn full moon is where we can release the things that are the fluff, cut the fat. What's really exciting, what really has value, what are we really going to put our focus and our resources in, versus like what is just sort of like the tendency of Gemini to get a little bit too like, I want to go this way and I want to go that way, and they have a hard time. They're caught between two things, right? They have interconflicting desire. They're the twins, right? So sometimes they're paradoxical. So it's trying to balance those energies and bringing them into balance, which is highlighted with some other astrological aspects that we'll get into. But overall, the full moon is helping us release. It's releasing things that aren't in alignment with Capricorn values. And so Capricorn values are very grounded. Capricorn is ambitious. Capricorn is a natural leader. You know, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. And so Saturn is the disciplinary, right? This is all about structure, following through, taking action, having a grounded plan, and then taking the steps, following through on it, executing it, being able to have that vision, communicate it through clear ideas and clear thinking, and then be able to communicate that plan in a way, even for yourself or for a team, to be able to take steps and execute it, right? That's a Capricorn strength. Also, what's required is the structure that's going to allow you to show up and complete the things that you need to execute these goals and dreams, and the discipline that's required to keep continuing to show up and follow through with these things. Because it's not easy. It's late at night tonight. I haven't had dinner yet, and I knew that if I had dinner, I would be too tired to do the workshop. But I didn't want to like throw in the towel, and I was like, I know I can just power through this and just keep going, right? And that takes discipline, because it's really a lot easier to just get cozy and turn on something on Netflix. But I want to do this because it's important. So I had to buck up, right? And that's what we got to do. That's what Capricorn is asking from us. Capricorn is in Pisces. I think that I made that note right. Which is, Pisces is like super dreamy and very imaginable and very mutable, and it's very like mystical and dramatic and theatrical, and it's very deep and soulful. Pisces is like swimming the depths, you know, of the subconscious. So Pisces has a tendency to be dreamy and romantic and fantasy ridden, and sometimes can spin illusions. And so Capricorn, you know, with its influence combined with Pisces right now, is kind of asking us to snap out of the illusion, but still maintain that imaginative dream. You know, that imagination is powerful, and it can help guide your vision and your intention. But the Pisces can get so mutable and so like dreamy that they may just like continue to dream, and to the point where like they're not doing what they want, or like they're getting lost in illusion or lost in stories. Instead of just like being in the grounded of doing it, right? It's like talking about something and getting high off of it, of the talking, but it's like empty words. In Kabbalah, those are called leaving empty vessels, which attract chaos. So another way that you may have heard that is loose lips sink ships. So yeah, it's about like, hey, yeah, look at your dreams. Like, what are these fantasies, these visions, and how do you make them a reality, right? Saturn and Pisces, it's kind of like a rude awakening. Like, how are you going to make this happen? What is required of you to do this? What kind of person do you need to be to live the life that you are imagining? And that's all about like what we're doing this year. It's like becoming the embodiment of the person that is required to live the life that we envision for ourselves. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. So Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. And so this is about like releasing outdated dreams and goals that really aren't like serving you anymore for your highest good, or they aren't in alignment with like where you are now. Maybe outdated ideals or ideas that just don't belong really in your vision anymore. And things could be outdated. And so you could be running loops in your mind according to things that you, like whole worlds that you've woven in your imagination from years past, that may not even, be applicable anymore. So being willing to have that awakening and see, okay, like to see your vision fully, to see through like illusions and disillusionment even. One of the things that we are like even having to look past is those self-fulfilling prophecies, right? We often think of, fantasy and illusion as, positive or sexy, or things like, the junk food of thoughts where it's just like this alluring temptation always. But sometimes the temptation is to go down a dark path of fantasy and illusion where you are terrified and you're living in fear. And you're having to build your whole life around avoiding this thing that you're afraid of. Or you're avoiding major parts of your life because of these things that you've built up that are fears, that are essentially illusions, right? And fantasies. Just dress rehearsing tragedy, or future projecting into problems that haven't arisen, and that may never. There's a difference between being grounded and realistic and being prepared. And there's a difference between that obsessive fear or fantasy of, oh my gosh, I have a phobia of this. It's like people who are, there's so many people who are obsessive preppers and end timers, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you are doing it because you're religious. Like, there are people in every different category having this obsession. And it's because it's not like the tribulations come once and like the revelations come once and that's it. It's like it's always happening to people, always. It's always happening to society. It's always happening on an individual level. And it's just like people find their awakening, or they don't, or they fight against it. And so there's these different stages. And one of the stages that I even had to come through was realizing that everything is hanging, very much by a thread in society, and we're on the precipice and the brink of like oblivion at any given point. And really, I mean, what can we do about it? I do my best to garden. I do my best to, as an individual, make sustainable choices that are friendly to the environment. And I do my best, but I'm not going to spend all my money and all my time and all my energy in my life preparing to survive something that may never happen. And even if it does, like, I don't know, would I want to continue on, or just like let myself expire naturally in the famine? I don't know. So yeah, I learned to just release that. I got rock bottom with it. I was like, this is about to like make me a crazy person, and I can't live in this kind of misery and fear and devastation and despair anymore. I mean, it was creating despair, and absolute paranoia, and which was like snowballing into other negative emotions and mindsets, you know? So yeah, letting those things go, right? Giving yourself like just a fresh mindset about it all. Okay, so the sun is in Cancer and it's conjunct Mercury. So this is blending and enhancing those energies, which is being able to get your thoughts clear and communicate and express in an outward way at those principles of Cancer, right? Your empathy, your things that make you secure, you know, spending time with your inner circles, creating a sense of security and home around yourself, like enhancing that. You know, it's nurturing energy, it's mothering energy, but you know, it's also like getting comfortable with your emotions and being able to express those as well. And getting clear on your thoughts about those. The sun is sextiling Jupiter, so that's very expansive. Jupiter is all about expanding luck and fortune and opportunity. The sextile is a very harmonious effect. It brings energy and movement. And so if the sun is in Cancer, it's like Jupiter is enhancing that sense of like hominess and security, but also it's enhancing like your feelings, right? It's intensifying them. And it might be enhancing your clarity on those as well. So yeah, but it's giving it a very harmonious effect. I think that you may be even like supported in mother healing, because Cancer is kind of connected to that mother, that cosmic the mother of the zodiac. And let's see, Moon opposition to Mercury. So this creates some tension, but it's the kind of tension that can create insight and positive results. So the Moon is in opposition to Mercury. So the Moon is our, you know, what drives us internally, subconsciously, unconsciously. These are fears. These are our motivations. These are our instincts. So it's like the Moon right now is in Capricorn. It's trying to get really grounded, and it's bringing tension to our thoughts that Mercury has been bringing up about all of this. So you know, the tension about the way that you're thinking and feeling about those themes of Cancer and in juxtaposition with, because Cancer is like the natural sign of the Moon, or the Moon is like naturally associated with Cancer. Cancer is opposite Capricorn, and the Moon is full in Capricorn right now. So I feel like those things are like also creating like this conversation with each other. It's like the mother-father energy, it's opposing Mercury, and the tension is like bringing up all of these things that you've been trying to think about and consider, and it's giving you a little bit more clarity. So there's like the empathy of Cancer, but then there's like the groundedness and, you know, the dispassionate analysis of Capricorn coming together. And so I think that it's like the cosmic mom and dad are sort of like at odds right now, but they're like coming to like an agreement. They're reconciling those energies. But it's going to be, you know, it's going to be playing on your mind, I think. And in that way that it's going to feel like you're kind of like in a catch-22 or like a split mind, because Gemini is the twins. And so sometimes it's like very much like I feel like just as much this way as I do this way, or this I'm a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I am, you know, very much this way, but I can also be very much the opposite. So yeah, that will kind of maybe be enhanced for the next couple of days, but I believe it will calm down. Venus is conjunct Mars, which those energies are going to be blending and enhanced. And so Venus is all about, it's like the cousin of Cancer. So it's all about like what we consider to make us feel secure and abundant and love and beauty and romance around us. Venus is related to our love relationships, and also money and security and our sustenance. And so that is combining with Mars, which is giving us this real sense of go-getterness and feelings of like very, it's like the masculine and feminine energies combined, right? Venus is feminine, or you know, it can be associated with masculine or feminine energies. It's kind of a really balanced combination of the two. Mars is very masculine. So it's sort of like that divine combination of, okay, I know what I want and now I know how to make it happen. Or I know what I want and I'm very energized to go after it. Venus is squaring Uranus. So a square can be competitive. It's like, who's going to go first? Me. And so the secret is to balance and reconcile those forces. And so Venus squaring Uranus is like, Venus is like, well, this is what I consider like what makes me feel romantic and abundant in life and secure, and like I'm living with a sense of purpose and there's like richness to my life and fulfillment, versus like Uranus is sort of like the revolutionary thinker, the one that wants to shake things up, and you know, the one that's a little bit rebellious. So there's like this inner conflicting desire maybe coming up between, you know, our desires and like maybe a rebelling nature against like the fact that they are a little bit conflicting with the two sides of ourselves, right? With all of this Mercury influence. So yeah, that'll be the way to heal and solve that. And I feel like this came up in a recent reading, but yeah, it's to reconcile and balance and compromise those energies. Venus is trining Chiron. Venus trining Chiron is going to be harmonious. It's supportive. It brings out natural talents and gifts, and it promotes ease. And so Venus trining Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. So all of this that we're looking at and observing and coming into light this week and having revelations about, it's like it's really like serving to heal a lot of these wounds that we have regarding love and money, right? And we're unblocking those, and we're having, you know, epiphanies and revelations about what have been our driving motivators up till now and going forward. And then Neptune is sextile Pluto, which brings opportunity and harmony. Neptune is like dreamy and, you know, ideals. And Pluto is transformation and passion. And so to me, it's like Neptune, it's like highlighting all of those dreamy ideals within our ideas of like our big goals of like our life vision of like what may be in store or what's ahead, or just basically like what kind of feelings and person that we want to have and experience going through into this next chapter. And so Neptune and, you know, Pluto is all about, yeah, it's like transformative, but it's also like creating like passion within these dreams and ideals. At the same time, though, we're like getting really grounded and realistic about the whole thing as well. So it's like, okay, getting excited about your dreams, but also getting grounded about like, okay, how does that look and how is it going to happen? And getting clear about what those even are, because they could be changing as well. All right, y'all, let's do our Celtic Cross using my straightforward oracle deck it's my custom deck. All right, so the first card will be us in the context of the next 2 weeks, where we are in this moment. All right, your destiny is calling you. Whoa, 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 the time is now. Answer the call. The world needs your gifts. You have something unique to share. So yeah, I like Jupiter dangling that little bait of fortune. Whatever's calling your soul right now, it's like this is part of the journey. And so yeah, maybe lend yourself to it. Maybe your purpose is like tugging at you. Maybe there's just something good that you feel like you're following a feeling on your path right now. Or you feel good about where you're at. But either way, destiny is calling. The time is now to answer the call. The world needs your gifts, and you have something unique to share. Some urges you can't shake. It's time to begin to open up your heart, mind, body, and soul to this desire. Hold on, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Your purpose is calling. It's time for you to heed the call of your soul. There's something you've been longing to do for a while. Some distant siren has been calling you to cross over some chasm. Some urges you can't shake. It's time to begin to open your heart, mind, body, and soul to this desire. Learn about it. Begin to take steps. Let it bloom for you. And as it does, you will find that you feel a sense of purpose in it. Bring this sense of purpose with you as you humbly show up for this call. Don't put pressure on this purpose to take care of you. Instead, devote yourself to committing to do what it takes to support this purpose. And then eventually, maybe, it will come back to you tenfold. Either way, there is something of value here, right? So it's like this channel, right? I'm not expecting this to support me. At least not yet. I am doing what I can to support me doing this channel. So yeah, there's something, some sense of a call or a dream. And so it's time to, Capricorn, put, I just keep thinking all of these mixtures of like inappropriate sayings, but it's just like, it's time to, get foot to pavement, essentially. Take action. Get disciplined, buckle down. So what's crossing us now is don't say anything yet. The time isn't right. They won't be able to hear you yet. Their heart is not open. You may change your mind. You don't have all the information. So yes, stop and pause. Don't say anything yet right now. There may be, I don't know, things that are still percolating, or things that you don't know the whole story, or things still may be shifting. So if you feel like there is communication that you need to send out for something, maybe pause and maybe not quite yet. Or if you've been like wanting to like confront someone about something, maybe don't, because maybe there's just more to it than you know about. Okay, rest and recuperate. So the underlying subconscious drive right now is just healing. It's resting, it's recuperating. And I think that that's kind of what's driving our motivations at the moment. The subconscious influence is rest and recuperate. You need a break. Rest is productive. Take a nap. Don't work on anything. Do something fun. Burnout. So yeah, I've been kind of trying to take a little more time recently to go do fun things that make me feel nurtured, that make my soul feel nurtured, because otherwise I burn out. You know, it's a lot of work to maintain content and then a job and all of that. And so if I'm not careful, I can get really burn out and really disenchanted. And so yeah, rest is every bit as important as hard work. In the energy oracle forecast for the week, we got air. Breathe has also been a popular card and theme that's been coming up recently. And it's like things need air, things need to breathe. And it also implies trust in the universe. So, you know, again, if I've been a little inconsistent, I apologize. But yeah, I've also been trying to take a breath myself. Okay, so this card will be the lesson from the past that is still having a little bit of influence right now, but it is kind of clearing up. It's time to take better care of yourself. So how are you supporting and nurturing yourself? Mind, heart, body, soul, and spirit. Are you taking good care of your household and finances? Are you kind to yourself? So again, that whole like Saturn coming back around, asking us again, it's like every few weeks, Saturn has been like, what are you doing? Are you taking care of your shit? Are you taking care of yourself? You know, are you taking care of house and home and all that? So really like revisit all of your routines and structures and just make sure that you are taking good care of yourself, and like all the things that you've been doing recently to get into a state of stability and healing. It's like keep doing those things. Once you feel better, don't give up on those things. Continue to keep them going, because those are you need to maintain those things, because that's what's maintaining you. All right, what is crowning us at the moment? Deservingness is the key to unlocking your manifestation. So, oh my gosh, I think this was a new one that I stuck in that I haven't even written fully yet. But yes, so the issue right now that's crowning the situation is just feeling like a sense of truly deserving what you want. And that's kind of been something like a theme that we've been coming up against, I think, for the whole year, really, is just working on building the vessel, which is essentially building faith and self-worth. And so, yeah, the thing that's really going to unlock what you want to come in is your feeling of deservingness, because it doesn't matter how big your vessel is if you have a lid on it, right? And the lid is not feeling like you don't deserve something, or even just not consciously owning your deservingness. So really own that deservingness. Okay, what's ahead of you is deep sleep. Wow, we are really needing sleep, you guys, looks like. So around the corner, get healthy sleep cycles, rest, make your bedroom sacred, new sheets, clean sheets. Your body and soul need healthy sleep. Early to bed, early to rise. So yes, the soul actually replenishes and cleanses and goes through a miniature judgment day every night. Our sleep is like a spiritual or like a version of soul death in a way. And so every night our soul ascends to the upper realms, and it goes through a process of cleansing and of judgment and of repair and of healing. And so it's very important that we get enough sleep. If we're not getting enough sleep, then it can really wreak havoc on our spirit, on our soul, on our body, but like on all sorts of other things. So it's really important that we get that sleep. Also, it may be that your sleep routine, getting that really locked in and having a good bedtime and a good morning wake up time might be the thing that helps you get all of these other things done as well. I know that's usually one of the things that I need to do the most, is just making sure to get up early enough, because I'm very productive early, but I also work late and I do these videos at night. So it's like, maybe I need to switch things up a bit, but at the same time, it's like I do use a lot of my daylight hours. So it's always a balance there. So the perspective, our negative perception that's affecting us right now is bad advice. Sometimes this is just like our perception that's affecting us, but in traditional tarot and the Celtic cross, this is literally like a negative thought pattern or our disbelief in something good that can happen. And so our perception that's limiting us right now, or the negative perception that's affecting us, is that we've had some bad advice. Now, recently, there have been 2 cards that came up last week about doing things in your own way. Like not going by traditional approaches or necessarily traditionally by the book. It may not be, the route that's correct for you. So I'm just gonna read the card. Someone around you is trying to give you advice. Their advice may seem logical, but it is wrong for you. Don't take it. The traditional way won't work for you this time. Ask yourself if this source of this advice could have an agenda. Consciously or unconsciously, the advice giver has their own baggage or motives. So just think about that. There could be people putting thoughts in your head or planting seeds of doubt. Or even like, you go and you follow coaches that try to give you advice on how to approach your business or your relationships or your healing for this particular route of fill in the blank. And many of them are totally gifted and they're totally right? But maybe what you want isn't quite the same as what they're trying to train people to do. Or maybe that's not the direction, like maybe the crowd that they're steering isn't really you. You're not really that demographic. So you're trying to accomplish something in a way that's going to be fulfilling and easy for a certain type of person, and you're not even like that person. So maybe you're taking traditional advice or a specific kind of advice about something that's maybe sounds good in theory and it sounds reasonable, but for you, it's like, it's not right, it's not gonna work. So just keep that in mind. It may be coming up over the next couple of weeks. Or you may be seeing, you know, in the full moon, like it might be revealing to you like, oh yeah, that I've been trying to do the things this way, but it's because traditionally that's what everybody thinks, but it's like, it doesn't work for me. Okay, so other people's influence on you right now, stop obsessing. You're overly focused on something. Your frantic, controlling energy is creating a hairball of knots. Your energy has locked up the situation. Your need is creating resistance. What void does your subconscious believe this will fill? No progress can be made in this state. Surrender, let go, shift your focus onto something happy. So yeah, other people's influence on you may be that they are kind of like frantic and obsessing over something. And maybe, you know, we are usually the ones being told not to worry, everything's fine. But maybe in this situation, it's like the other people around us are more like they have something that's grating on them. And so maybe their behavior is being affected and it's affecting, you know, you're being affected because they are around you and in your life. So just be aware of that. One of the cards that came up in our weekly energy forecast was grounded observation and empathy. And so yes, the whole being an empathic person, you feel what other people are feeling sometimes and you don't realize it's not yours. And so if you're feeling, I don't know, maybe off balance or something, maybe it's not you, right? Maybe it's just the influence of the energy around you that you think is you, but it's not. Okay, either way, stop obsessing and put your mind on something else and let it go, because fixating on something just creates tension and blocks. Okay, let's get our hopes and fears. It's our card on our hopes and fears. Ooh, be patient, emotional renewal, worth the risk, you are abundant. Okay, I mean, all of these came out together and I just kept reading. So be patient, emotional renewal is happening. Something's worth the risk and you are abundant, right? So you are enough and you're worthy and you deserve, right? You know, your frantic energy right now, and you know, it's like there's some frantic energy in the situation, and maybe there's bad advice also being thrown in, or people's opinions, or you know, modern society's views on things or whatever are coming into play that maybe just don't apply in the situation. And so right now our hopes and fears are juxtaposed together, and the advice is be patient. Emotional renewal is taking place, so allow that. Sleep, rest, breathe, you know, let healing occur. Have faith that what you're doing and what you're working on is worth the risk, and that you have everything it takes. You have all the resources, you're fully equipped. Like, just don't worry. Just take the chance and just assume that creator, universe, source, God is always there working through every situation. And so, you know, people who fail or people who are successful, it's like they make a decision quickly and they lean in fully and they're willing to fail, but they fail forward. They're like, well, I'm not gonna spend time spinning my wheels. Like, do I want this or that or this or that or this or that? It's just like, just go for the fucking thing. Do it. See how it works. If it's a failure, then like cut your losses and like, you know, chalk it up. But like spinning your wheels forever, or like being only half in and half out because you think something may or may not be a good idea or worth the investment or something, that's when things usually aren't a success. Okay, so what is the final outcome for now? Oh, let's see. That's just too much. Everybody is just, I've got creation phase 2 coming out. Which creation phase 2 is all about buckling down. Oh, here, what's this? Forgiveness is what is being asked for. Let's get one more on that. And addiction. Okay, so addictive patterns and forgiveness and healing. And so let's get one more on that. Mental issue to overcome. Oh my God, the same. And creation phase 4. Oh my God, energy detox. The same. Oh my God, find a teacher. This was a collaborative. Oh my God, creative collaboration, mental. Okay, so before this whole chunk was the ones that I saw, and they came out together. They came out together again. So addiction and forgiveness. So if you have been the victim of addiction, if addiction has played out in your family, there are so many things that come with that affect you on a subconscious level. Being able to trust people just from the chaos that erupts. You know, when you have been related or closely in a relationship with an addict, they manipulate you, and that hurts, and it's painful later because you feel foolish and you feel taken advantage of and you feel betrayed, but you also feel, you know, like you betrayed yourself, and you don't know what's worse, the betrayal of the other or the betrayal of yourself. So it's hard to trust a person after that. And so addiction, even if you're not the one who's addicted, like if you're the one who's addicted, then it's like you need to start healing and you need to start forgiving yourself for the things that you have done and for the addiction, but also take responsibility. Like, I think so many times in this day and age, we're like, oh, I forgive myself. And it's just like, you just totally let yourself off the hook, but then it's like, you don't make the transformation or do the work or like, you know, grow through it. It's just like people just bypass, right? So yes, deep forgiveness of the self also will liberate you from the shame that you're trying to cover up with the substance or with the, you know, shopping or sports or relationships or sex or anything, right? You know, anything that's an addiction for you. Maybe find a teacher, right? That's going to help you not only go forward in your dreams, but maybe to get past, you know, the patterns, the addictive patterns. We're in creation phase 2 now. So it's like this renewed sense of energy to put in the effort, right? To burn the midnight oil, right? It's a resurgence of that second wind energy. But yeah, creation phase 2 is when, after having a passive desire, it's like the desire is really activated and you kind of want to go for something. A mental issue to overcome. So again, this is, you know, about obsessing, and it's about the thoughts and the kind of vibration and mindset and expectations that your thoughts are creating in you. So really, you know, it's just learning about to cultivate that mental landscape and change the channel when you start obsessing and, you know, dress rehearsing tragedy. Creative collaboration, like minds capable of manifesting a common vision. So yeah, maybe there are people coming in that you can collaborate with, or maybe you're just surrounded by people right now that are like really inspiring to you and help you with ideas and things and have good perspectives about how you can attain, you know, the things you want, or, you know, how to go about doing that. And then energy detox. So yeah, again, this is like a lot of healing, purity, purification, sleep, rest, detoxing from substances and negativity, right? Detox yourself energetically. Ground in nature, rigorous exercise, getting a good sweat, meditate, chill, quiet the mind and body, smudge with sage, take a salt bath, journal, spend some time alone to recharge, carry black stones and smoky quartz. Okay, y'all, and then now let's clarify with some tarot cards. We've got the Modern Witch Tarot here. Let's get four cards to give us some clarity and tie it all together. All right, what have we got? Knight of Swords. I love that. So Knight of Swords is very fast, very determined, very quick, and like the one to jump in and get things done. The Knight of Swords is detail oriented. They're very much like, here, I'll help. Like, I know what to do. Let me take care of this kind of energy. So it's very go-getter. It's very like that whole resurgence of energy and focus. And okay, I think, yeah, like let's creation phase 2. Put in the effort. I see what needs to be done, and now I'm going to go in all guns blazing. All right. What else do we need to know for the next 2 weeks about how things are culminating? Oh, 7 of Pentacles. I love this. Okay, so this card always reminds me of me. 7 of Pentacles is about seeds well planted and just having the patience to see it through. This is the perfect card to come up for if you're in creation phase 2 or 3, because it's just about getting the work done, and you're beginning something new, and it's going to be a process. And so you can't do anything about making a plant grow other than like watering, giving it sunlight, giving it air, giving it a healthy soil, healthy ground to plant your seed in. And otherwise, it's just about being patient and allowing nature to run its course and do its thing. So yeah, seeds are well planted, and now it's about having patience. And yeah, sticking with your routines and structures, and not doing, like, you can overwater a plant, and then you can underwater a plant. And then if you underwater the plant, you try to overwater the plant, and that fucks up the plant too. So it's about like little healthy, consistent, structured routines. You know, not too much, not too little. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. What else do we need to know? All right, we have the Emperor reversed. And so this energy, I would say, is about, so when the Emperor is upright, it's like the Emperor is in control. They're very like leader oriented. They're very in the healthy masculine, but they can also lean a little bit into like domineering, a little bit like overly structured, and a bit controlling. And so actually, let's read. I've got this booklet right over here. I want to see what Eileen Conley says. I feel that in this way, it's like, with the Emperor reversed, to me, right now in the context of this reading, I feel like it has to do with keeping a sense of structure and discipline without being controlling. Because once we are in a state of controlling, then we are not in a state of trust or surrender or release anymore. And so there's no trust, there's no certainty in the Creator at that point. And so the challenge is to be able to show up consistently, you know, do your little bit every day, but then give up control. Don't be controlling about it, right? Don't be obsessive. Let your project breathe, or whatever it is. Okay, so the Emperor reversed. Positive direction is needed. There's a lack of control, a need for self-discipline. Butterfly flits and knows no way. Man must plan and work each day. It's possible that you are feeling the weight of responsibility. Someone is becoming a burden. Someone could be after something that you have. Be sure that you understand the motives of this person. Do not tolerate anyone who does not appear to be self-sufficient. He could become a great responsibility. Okay, so whereas the Emperor is very good at taking care of themselves, this is an energy where maybe someone is not good at taking care of themselves, and it's more of, this is also more of a warning about someone else. It's like, it's not even, or, you know, possibly of the self. It's like, don't lose your discipline, right? Don't have agendas, don't have destroyer consciousness, right? Be careful of your motives, but also be aware of other people's motives. Instantly, when I was reading that, it made me think of the bad advice card, right? Someone could be after something you have, so be sure you understand the motives of this person. You know, don't be super paranoid, but just be aware, right? And I think mostly it's about getting really disciplined about taking action towards the things that you want to grow, but not being super controlling about it, but also not lacking discipline either. Okay. All right. And last card from Modern Witch Tarot. All right. Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups is super empathic. She's the queen of the emotional realm, very loving. She's like the queen of love. Also very intuitive, very psychic, very insightful, very empathic. People like to be nurtured and understood by the Queen of Cups. However, the Queen of Cups sometimes can be so empathic that she can overgive and deplete herself. So the advice many times of the Queen of Cups card is to put that focus on the self and to set the boundary so that you can be fully there with others. So it's like taking care of the self so that you're your full self, right? When you are spending your energy with other people. And then not putting your needs last, right? But also, yes, the queen is someone that people do go to for insight and advice and comfort. And so this is something that is to be cherished about the queen, but also the queen can neglect herself too. So do not neglect the self. There's lots of advice here about just taking good care of your mind, body, and soul. All right, let us get a card. Actually, let's get a Moonology card first, and then we will get a tarot card. So our Moonology card for the waning cycle. Your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. So yeah, right now, you just need to get a practical plan in place. Think about your structure, your discipline. This has been a very on-theme reading. It's just all about Capricorn, structure. Get a plan, get a practical plan, and start really eating away at it. If you already have a plan, refocus, get back in and buckle down. Okay, and then what do we have for a clarification card from the Angel Wisdom Tarot? Ten of Pentacles, financial security for yourself and your family, inheritance or retirement, peace and contentment in life, honoring family traditions, pride in the family tree, and passing on knowledge. So it's like your dreams and your goals really do have potential to yield long-term fulfillment, abundance, and stability. Like this is true and lasting value, the Ten of Pentacles. It's the thing that it's not just happiness, but it's value that builds on value, that builds on value. And so your plan is good, your dreams are good, they have value there, but they need a practical plan. So get a practical plan in place and start to execute it. All right, let's check in with the magical mermaids and dolphins to see what they say about our manifestations. Ooh, okay, yay, my favorite, yay! A new dawn, I love this. This is my favorite card in this deck. The worst is now behind you and positive new experiences are on the horizon. So yeah, it's, when we've gone through difficult times and, periods of trials and tribulations and, dark nights of the soul, it feels difficult to open ourselves up again to feeling happiness and excitement and joy because we're just like wondering if the rug's gonna get pulled out from under us, And it's just important right now that we don't obsess in that negative space, that we create, that clear and empty space for positivity and positive, optimistic expectations and outcomes. But yes, the worst is behind you. New things are ahead. And so really be like, be sacred with the new chance to move forward with creating new patterns for yourself instead of just falling back into default setting. Self-employment, you're a born entrepreneur and your business is surrounded by magical opportunities. So yeah, we are blessed right now with that influence of Jupiter, Venus, and that Mars energy all coming together to feel like this go-getter energy. And so, yeah, like if you have a business or if you have like that dream that's calling you right now, that Destiny is Calling You card. That was the first one that came out. You know, if this has to do with your business, like this is a good time to make advancements and enhance and all that in your business right now. So continue with it. Don't give up. Have faith. Have faith, your prayers and manifestations. Your prayers are manifesting. Okay, so have faith that your prayers are manifesting. Remain positive and follow your guidance, right? So give yourself a chance to just take a risk to be a little bit crazy and just be like, okay, well, what if this worked? You know, what if this did actually, what if I could actually pull this off? So yeah, well, my goodness. Okay, the one that fell onto my leg was synchronicity. Your prayers and questions are being answered by synchronistic events. Notice them in order to increase their flow. So right now, pay attention to synchronicities, signs, things that sort of jump out and slap you in the face. Don't go looking for them, but if something jumps out and it's almost obnoxious where you're just like, wow, that was that. But don't like go looking and making everything a sign, you know. But you'll notice those synchronicities, and especially when they start building up and adding on and on and on and on, right? So notice the patterns, right? But don't necessarily go forcing them to be signs either. Okay, and then when you do see them, thank the angels for that communication. All right, let's see. Let's see, what do we need to know for the next 2 weeks in the waning phase for our romantic life? This is the Romance Angels Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. It's now currently out of print. Magical Mermaids and Dolphins was Doreen Virtue as well. It's also out of print. All right, what do we need to know for our love life this next couple of weeks? Oh, what do we have here? Oh, deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. So yeah, be aware that as you observe and go through this week, that you may not be seeing the full picture. And I mean, that's always true. We're only ever showing what we want someone to see and understand. But yeah, things may not be as they seem, or maybe be careful to present, you know, it's for you to be authentic as well. If you want authenticity, you have to be authentic. And so, you know, I think in dating, it can be easy to get swept up in these little games of deception, thinking that they're just little games of, you know, whatever. But it's deception is deception. And I think that if you want an authentic connection, you have to show up authentically. And if you sense deception, I don't know. I mean, there was that whole don't say anything yet. So maybe observe. Stand back and observe. Okay, give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So yeah, maybe there's something that is not as it seems, but maybe don't say anything yet because maybe it's gonna work itself out, or maybe it's gonna be better. There's gonna be a better situation to address it, but maybe not right away. So maybe observe before you bring that up, but overall, the card is like, give your relationship a chance and work on the partnership. So this may just require an honest discussion. The next card is playfulness. So to recapture your romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So yeah, just be playful and lighthearted and let the situation breathe. You know, things get heavy and it's not, the romance isn't there, right? Just kind of like it's a buzzkill or takes you out of your feeling state and into the head state. So be playful, have a good time, you know, lead with lighthearted energy and, you know, see what that opens up. Honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So yeah, fun, good times, blissful energy, you know, have fun. There may be, you know, things that aren't as they seem right now, but maybe it's just have patience. Don't get attached to any specific thing right now. Just take it slow, enjoy yourself in general, and observe from a grounded state. And in the meantime, you know, just be playful, right? And enjoy summertime and have hot girl summer with yourself. And 4th of July is coming up, right? So there may be fun times and good times ahead on the holidays. And maybe there is something that happens on the holiday that makes you think that something is up. Or maybe there's something that is like not, you're not quite sure if you're seeing what you're seeing. And maybe just try to have a good time and be grounded and save that conversation for when you feel really grounded and not emotional or not triggered, because there could be a discussion that can happen, but it shouldn't happen if you're feeling triggered thinking that someone's deceiving you, because the story, it may not be what it seems, but it might be. So or you know, things may change over the days. So give it a second to breathe, but just be aware and pay attention to the feelings. But I mean, there is a red flags card. There are negative cards that could have come up following that, and mostly it was positive. So it makes me feel pretty good. Okay, and then let's get some advice from Mother Mary, Jesus's mom. What do you have to say to us, Mary? Family, I pray for my family and give the situation over to God for answers, support, and healing. So yeah, if there's any issues in the family this week, just pray for your family and give the issues over to God for support and healing, particularly like mother and father healing issues. Yeah, boundaries, hope, present moment, and be strong. So yeah, lots of like just having boundaries, but being happy and hopeful and being strong. It just seems like a theme that's coming up a lot. And with that Cancer, you know, influence with the sun right now, and the Capricorn influence of the father, I think it's just like be prayerful, be mindful for your family, on behalf of the family, and to pray for your healing from your family, because it's those family dynamics early on in childhood that, you know, imprint the patterns that we carry around with us as, you know, adolescents and as adults. And so those are the things that we're usually just trying to correct. Open your heart. I allow myself to feel the full range of emotions, especially all the forms of love. I love this. Little naked Jesus is sitting there eating his little snackies, some little fruits. Yeah, open your heart. And then let's get the last word from Jesus. This is the Loving Words from Jesus Oracle deck. It's got all of the quotes from Jesus that were from the Bible. These two came out. Let's see. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. I love that. Don't worry about tomorrow. It'll take care of itself. May not even, what if there is no tomorrow? Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. And that's not don't take care of the earth, because, you know, what's the point? That's not it. I think that people do have that sort of tendency to just shirk off responsibility. Do what you can, but ultimately don't obsess about tomorrow. Be at peace. Be at one with today. And then I am with you always, even until the end of the world, right? That Christ presence is always within, and it's within the heart. And so the more that we open our heart, the more we connect to that Christ consciousness, that Christ energy. And it's something that we activate through prayer. But it's, yeah, I mean, the Christ is within all of us. We just have to invite that conscious awakening process to happen, because we have free will. And that is, it's like once you participate in spirituality, you know, it starts its thing on you, right? So yeah, you can activate that Christ consciousness within, open your heart to all forms of love, and that will help the healing occur as well. Well, all right, y'all, happy full moon in Capricorn. I hope y'all get your butts in gear and get disciplined and structured. All right, see ya. Ciao.